ready with the intro music and stuff, we good.
Speaker on?
Yeah, it's on.
Is it connected with the Bluetooth?
Power on. Bluetooth. Pairing. Bluetooth. Connected.
It's 6 o'clock. Turn your radios up. Another notch. It's the Jukebox.
Let's set it all move when I say so. Late show, it's Gmoneypayroll. He on the grind, he don't pay attention to the hate. Don't be late Saturdays from 6 to 8. And as far as R&B and hip hop, all over the world, he got the streets locked. Out east side, out pull lot. Even in North Camden where it be so hot. Holding it down, putting the town on the map. Camden #1 radio station, that's facts. For all the latest hip hop and R&B. Make sure you tune in Wcmd. Turn on the Netflix and a red box. We do it big for Jersey, it's the Jukebox. Whether you going to the club or you straight mackin', tune in, we make it happen and never lacking. It's 6 o'clock, so turn it up. G-Money got the airwaves burning up. It's 6 o'clock, so turn it up. Shorty dope, all crazy, I'm burning up.
Jersey Jukebox. I'm your host, Gmoneypayroll, WCMD Radio. I want to introduce my co-host for today, my lovely auntie, my Aunt Ruth. I'm happy to have her today, working with me today. I want to send a shout out to Ms.Kesh on the road, tell you to have a safe and enjoyable trip, and get back to us soon at Jersey Jukebox. Also, another special guest I got today, the one, the only Mr. Drew Ryan.
Appreciate you having me. Shout out to Gmoneypayroll.
All right, man. Thanks for coming through. To my left, my engineer, Mr. Frank Eyes, he's in the building. Behind the camera, I am 4K, Hannibal Heck. Jersey Jukebox, and my wife, Deshauna, she's here today as the ambassador. She's here. Is that Leah Prater? Hey! Hey, Miss Leah Prater's in the building, too. Former guest of Jersey Jukebox. That was a great episode that day. All right, just want to bring everybody up to speed on what's going on. Tomorrow we have the Wcmd Expo, and that will be running from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Come by 1656 Kane Avenue and check out, some of the vendors. Get yourself some books, a lot of authors. It's gonna be a lot of good stuff available. Novels. Tell-alls, all kind of books are going to be available. So come through, support WCMD Radio. Shout out to Jasmine Moore. She's always working. She's behind that. She's behind a lot of stuff that's going on here at WCMD with the authors. I introduce my guest for the day. You guys want to say anything? And tell the people what you got going on? I know you just had the performance at Pine Point Park.
Yes.
Saturday.
It was a privilege to blaze the stage. Coming on stage after you did. Pine Point Park was incredible. I appreciate the love. The mayor was out there. It was a beautiful event. A lot of beautiful people. With me personally, I got a project that's going to be coming out later this year. It's going to be a 7-track EP called "I Need You to Fight." I dropped 2 singles off of it. And then those 2 singles are Two-Step Love, which I performed over at Pine Point Park. And then the other one is called Change.
Yeah, Two-Step Love. I remember that one. That was a good one.
That's one of my favorites off the project. I mean, each song to me is really important and special. But Two-Step Love was the first one I dropped. And then there's going to be actually a feature on Change because I dropped that in January. And I shout out to you, and I appreciate your efforts because you came through and laid down a feature for me on that.
Yeah.
So we're going to be dropping that in July.
Yep. I gotta get a chance to spin that song for y'all so you can hear it. Really powerful lyrics. He's talking about change with a lot of the social injustice, police brutality,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And it's not just something new that's been started. It's been going on for years.
Right. It's something that's been around for a while, and even though it's not talked about as much on the news, it's something that's still happening to this very day. Whether it was Eric Garner, Tamir Rice, Philando Castile, Sandra Bland, like there's still people and bodies are tallying up even this year. It's 2019. People are tired of hearing about it, but it's something that still has to be talked about. So that's why the song will forever stay relevant until something like that happens, where it stops, rather. And that's why change is so relevant. So it was my frustration seeing it happen, being on the news all the time. And I sat down with my laptop, my phone, my tablet, and I got to doing my research to make sure all my facts was right. And in each case, there were no convictions. There may have been settlements here or there, but there were never really any convictions with any of those circumstances. So whenever I see something like that, like my heart grieves for for that lost soul. My heart grieves for their family, their friends, like everybody that lost that person. Because it's not only them, but it's us as a country, it's us as a community. And until we actually demand and push for and work together to bring forward that change, whether it's change in thinking, how we approach people, we can't keep blaming people that get shot for being shot when they're not the ones that pulled the trigger on themselves. A lot of the arguments that I hear is that, oh, well, they shouldn't have been doing what they was doing. But then there are other people who do the same things, and they go home at night.
I know a friend of mine, he got 28 years for driving under the influence, and he ended up killing some people. And then somebody else in the area, same thing, two people, separate people. I think one was white, and they both was white. They both got convicted. I think they got like 5 years.
That's like a slap on the wrist.
They gave my friend 28 years. Same crime.
Yeah, it's things like that are the reason why change is so necessary. Whether it's drug use and nonviolent crimes, whether it's violent offenses. Even though to a certain extent, I believe that when you commit a crime and it's a violent offense, you gotta pay a penalty for that. But when there's a disparity in the punishment that's handed out, that's where I have a problem. Just for example, Brock Turner. The judge who presided over his case, he raped an unconscious girl behind a dumpster. And the judge let him off basically with a slap on the wrist, like 6 months or something like that, because he felt jail would impede his progress growing into a young man. He was so talented, the judge didn't want to stunt his future.
That's crazy.
Yeah, things like that are the reason why change is necessary. But change itself as a song, I wrote that because of state violence against minorities. We are one of the smaller demographics in the country, but we're one of the bigger parts of the prison population. If everything is supposed to be fair and equal across the board, it should be more white people in jail for the same things that we go to jail for. It shouldn't be that we're the larger part and we only like 15% of the country.
It's privilege.
And until people who are aware of the privilege that they have raise their voice and join into the efforts, it's going to be tough because a bunch of people are going to ignore it because it's not really their quote-unquote problem. So that the song Change is my plea to people to start paying attention, like stop sitting on the sidelines because they're not directly affected and waiting for it to hit home to get involved in this fight for equality. And we still fighting for equal rights, not just civil or to just be treated as people, but we still fighting for equal rights. You know?
I was looking at something on the online yesterday about the what was it, the massacre in Elaine with the Arkansas, the sharecroppers. They killed all the black people trying to get a union going right after the First World War. And I figured that was in my great-grandma's era or something like that, around that time.
Great-grandfather.
Yup. That's how I wanted to ask you
He was in World War II.
World War II?
Yep, great-grandfather.
Yup. And I know they killed 237 African Americans, and even a lot of whites got killed too. It was a lot of people got killed over them not wanting to make sharecropping blacks have a union. But they was getting blacks was picking cotton, they wasn't getting paid the right amount.
Exactly.
They were getting I don't know how they was rigging and stuff, but they was rigging it to make it look like they wasn't doing a job, and they was taking credit for the work the blacks was doing. And then even the plantation owners, they didn't want them to have a union because they knew that they would have to work less and they would make less money.
Right.
So I didn't know about it last night, and I read about it. It was really bad. It was real bad. I didn't know about that. So yesterday. Well, when I get the proper name for the movie, I'll tell you about it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Get that to me.
But I'm Pat. You want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Hi, my name is Ruth Brown. I'm Gmoneypayroll's aunt. His host for the day. I'm glad to be here. My nephew has came a long way.
All right. So that is my aunt, multi-talented. That's where I get a lot of my talents from. She does wedding coordinating,
Yes.
party coordinating. You tell them some other stuff you do.
Like you said, I do wedding coordinating. I'm a catering service. I do catering services, weddings, proms, all types of occasions. No wedding, no plan is too big or too small. I can do them all.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring her on today, and I wanted to shed some light on her and all the great things that she does. She always supports Jersey Jukebox. She always supported me since I can remember, so I wanted to bring her on today and highlight that.
Thank you.
And I wanted to talk about some news hits that I got today. The Raptors won the championship. Did you catch that? You into sports?
Yeah, I saw the win last night. Shout out to Toronto.
Yeah, first championship for Canada, right?
Yeah, first in the team's history.
History.
Yeah, they made history. Shout out to all them boys.
I know a lot of
Kawhi.
people lost money on that game too.
Woo!
They say Meek Mill lost $200,000 on Golden State.
What?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people wanted a game 7 because that was going to be huge. But to tell you the truth, I was trying to call that thing. At first, I wanted it to only go 5 games. And then when KD was coming back, I was like, I need him to play at least one more in the series. So I was like, I'll be cool if it goes 6. And then Golden State grabbed game 5.
And then Clay tore his thing last night.
Oh man.
It was kind of crazy, man.
I hope he has a speedy recovery. Because I never like to see an athlete go down like that. If it's going to be a win, I mean, shout out to Toronto because they won.
Yeah.
And they're my boy Marquise Cole's, team. So, shout out to him too and shout out to them. But, I would have wanted them to be at like full strength, going at it. I mean, the circumstances fell as they did. Toronto got the W. Golden State was a little bit beat up. Can't make excuses because they didn't come through with it like they needed to, but.
Okay. Do y'all watch VH1? Shows on VH1 at all? They got a new show coming out by with Little Kim, Maya, and Chili from TLC.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a new show
I
coming
know
out.
about that.
It's going to be a hip-hop show. And I guess it's going to be something called like Love and Hip Hop, but I guess it's just going to feature those 3. So, yeah.
I'm going to have to keep my eye on
They're
it.
looking for extras for that. So that's why I wanted to put that out there.
Is there a height requirement?
I don't know.
Yeah, if there's no height requirement, I'll see if I can put my name on it.
Yeah. It's a lot going on right now. Papoose and 2 Chainz and Remy Ma is also going to be playing in the BET Celebrity Game. So if you're a fan of BET and 2 Chainz and Remy Ma, Papoose, look forward to that also. Miley Cyrus has came out and apologized for being a culture vulture. She said that, Hannah Montana. She said she is sorry for pretty much being a poser.
Yeah.
And she blames white privilege. That's
wow.
What she blames. So that's just a little bit what you was talking about with the change.
I wasn't even going in that direction initially, but that does lend into it.
It does. It has to. I mean, at some point, some of that stuff does tie in.
Absolutely.
Like you said, some get lesser charges and stuff than other, and it's not right.
Yeah, there's so many layers to white privilege. And with Miley, anybody can appear to be down with the culture, as long as it puts money in their pocket. Because then when she was done with that portion of her music and how she was coming out in public that way, she jumped right back to country music. Because country does have a large base for listeners and fans and things like that. But the way she went about that, I couldn't, I can't get with her no more like that.
It was a culture vulture. She jumped on.
Yeah.
Or she got in when she fit in.
Yep.
And now she's out, and then she's blaming white privilege, and I don't really get it. I don't understand.
She ran around with jerseys and J's on, and You know, people's like, oh, okay, yeah, I could rock with her for a little bit because of that. But then as soon as she was done with it, she hung them up and came back out with cowboy boots and dresses.
How about R. Kelly's wife suggesting that he go work at Del Taco?
What?
Said that he's doing that bad that now he needs to go work at the taco place to pay her. That's what she suggests.
So he has no money now?
That's what they said. He has no money. He said he don't have no money. I don't know what his current situation.
I don't know.
I guess
either.
he has to play bankrupt.
He might have to. I mean, with his compounds, all the traveling, all the people on his payroll. You know, if you're not putting out new songs and doing shows where you got that much money coming in to counter that,
Well,
you gonna run
R.
through
Kelly,
it.
you got money.
Somewhere, right?
Yeah, in the '90s, R. Kelly had money.
He could go and do 1 million shows and get paid everywhere. I don't understand. He should be getting 50, 60,000 a show still, right?
I mean, he's
Something like that.
it depends.
Blackballing.
Yeah, I mean, when sponsors
Man, he
start
come to
cutting,
Camden now, he can get 100,000 for a show. All these women gonna be going to the show.
Yeah, they
he's still gonna have some women going to the show, but it's not gonna be as many.
Yeah.
You know, some have tried to cut him out. You know, some of them are like, hey, listen, you can't even play, Step in the Name of Love at the barbecue no more. They'll listen to it in the car by themselves. You know, they'll be like, step in the name of love, step in the name of love. But then, when they're out in public, nah, X that, he's canceled. Like, you're going to have a lot of that.
And that's a fixture. That's a good song, too.
Oh, it's a great song. I
He
just
got a
don't
lot
like
of
what he
songs.
did.
Yeah. It's crazy because he got a lot of songs through the years. And then it make it hard to listen to his music.
Right.
So.
Well, I mean, it's, in times like that, sometimes you got to separate, the music from the artist because their contribution to the culture shouldn't always be negated because they were a terrible human being. I mean, we don't X out, what Tina did and what Whitney did because they had their addictions. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not trying to equate what R. Kelly did with what they did, but everybody's got their faults. And if if you're making contributions to the culture, to push things forward. So if you happen to make a mistake, I'm not going to cut out your contributions. I'm going to say, listen, he made a mistake. He messed up. Should he have done something different?
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But
reprimand every little. Yeah.
Right, because Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't perfect.
Nah.
We just don't talk about how he had his faults.
So, Drew, how long you been doing music, man?
Oh man, I've been writing since I was 19, so for the past years. And,
right, I do that now too. Like, how old you are? All right.
Yeah.
I don't even say it.
The listeners got to go back and try to catch that, how I said it. And I've been singing since I was like 9 in church. That's where I got my start.
So you start?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people get their start with the choirs and in church and stuff with the family.
Yeah.
That's where they find themselves.
Yeah, church choirs, workshops for the choir, doing backgrounds, praise team, things like that. And then I started to work with Big Mo and All United, gospel group out of Violin. Okay. So shout out to them.
So that's where you fellowship?
Well, that's where I started to really do like the gospel group thing. But the church that I grew up in was actually out here in North Camden over at 7th and Erie Mount Carmel Holy Church. That's where I grew up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right across the street from Pine Point Park.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I grew up in that church right there.
Okay.
And then after I spent some time working with Big Mo and All United, then I stepped away from the group there to do a little bit of individual growth and started working with Mr. Ricky Style, talented artist development coach, vocal instructor, writer, producer, composer, arranger. That man could wear 18 hats and still get every job done. So shout out to him. He taught me a lot over the 5 years that I worked with him. And then during that time, I also was signed with Soul Records, and Rob Johnson.
Okay, where they out of?
They're out of Camden now.
Oh.
Yeah, so Rob obtained the trademark on it about 4 years ago. Well, actually 5 years ago, and then I signed with him for 3 years. And
so you signed for projects or 3 years?
It was a 3-year or 3 EP deal.
3 EP.
1 EP came out of it, and it went its way. I made a lot of connections. Learned a lot about the business on the back end of.
Not just like financially, how does that work? Like when you sign a deal, like was it a production deal or was it just a straight out label deal?
It was a label deal, so it wasn't. So I would still between me and Rick, we would pay for our studio time to produce the project. Rick was the executive producer of that one in particular. So I learned a lot about the back end of that, the writing aspect, arranging, composing, being in the studio, setting up the shows, booking yourself, and things like that. I learned that from him. So
It shows you the channels to go to.
exactly, met a lot of awesome people, through that. So shout out to him for that, invaluable lessons.
Okay.
And then even after he and I parted ways for creative differences, then I took what I learned from him and put that into this project now, which is called I Need You to Fight,
Okay.
coming out later this year.
All right.
And I'm executive producing that, so it's all me top to bottom.
That's cool, man. That's the best way to go sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get back into the interview. My producer's giving me the signal. We gotta take a pause for the cause.
I got to pay those bills.
Yes, we're gonna be right back. Jersey Jukebox, WCMD Radio.
I ain't tryna die young, so I ride with one. Stood 10 toes down in my Balenciaga. He ran out on the that's a shot. Cold hearted nigga with the block out. Gotta keep it on me, I wanna die young. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. I'ma go post bail, just look at my wrist. Tell me why the legends always gotta die quick. When I'm in traffic, gotta slide with the beam on me. Cause I keep out 10 racks bustin' out the jeans on me. Be hatin', I'm rich, it's all about the cream on me. If I ever get caught like it, they gon' slide. But since I got the rollie, I ain't got the time. Flawless diamond, can't never block the shine. They know I'm ballin' in the city like the Rosen. Gotta keep my niggas around me, I can't do the wrong friend. I was knocking down walls, now they closing in. Hopped off the porch and then I hopped inside the Porsche. Ay. Be in the side, I'ma be the main court. Whip the rolls like a young maid. I ain't tryna die young, so I ride with one. Stood 10 toes down in my Balenciaga. He ran out on the that's a shot. Cold hearted nigga with the block out. Gotta keep it on me, I wanna die young. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. I'ma go post bail, just look at my wrist. Tell me why the legends always gotta die quick. Tryna get my bag, I had to go and make it happen. Me and my dogs, we was buzzing out them bandos. Count out them hundreds, then we throw it in the mattress. Wrap it in plastic and throw it in the attic. I be in the streets, I stand 10 toes. And in my situation would've been fold. We was trapping out the basement, made it back tenfold. Gotta stay out the way, that's why I'm always on the tenfold. We was fighting fed cases, remember I was 2-0. Fighting depression, sipping syrup, I was moving slow. I was down below, but still I always kept my head up. Get my bread up, I don't wanna die young. I ain't tryna die young, so I ride with one. Stood 10 toes down in my Balenciaga. He ran out on the that's a shot. Cold hearted, go with the block out. Gotta keep it on me, I wanna die young. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. I'ma go post bail, just look at my wrist. Tell me why the legends always gotta die quick.
Back on Jersey Jukebox. That was Roddy Ricch, Die Young. Back with my co-host Drew Ryan and my lovely auntie Ruth.
Hello.
We are in the building today. I did want to give a shout out to my cousin Chanel and tell her I'm so proud of her. And she just had prom, right?
Yep, prom. And she
Yep.
graduate next Thursday.
She graduates next Thursday.
awesome.
So proud of my little cousin, and she made it through. And there's nothing but good stuff ahead.
Yeah, shout out to your cousin and shout out to all the graduates.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a good time of the year. That means everybody made it through. It's a good time. I like this time of year. So, we'll get back to your interview, Mr. Ryan.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the show that you recently did at Pine Point? Performing at, opening day, North Camden. That's a big venue. I know the weather was uncertain, so the turnout was it was lukewarm like it usually is. It's usually packed in the park. But like, how did you feel about doing an important event like that?
Oh man, weather aside, turnout aside, any stage that I have the opportunity to be on is an opportunity to push all the messages that I'm bringing to the table forward. So I'm always humbled anytime there's a new stage that's made available to me, and I'm always grateful for every stage that I've been on before where I'm welcome back to, bring more of this passion that I love to share with people for, my music as I create it, and then as I have more to bring to you guys. So it was humbling, and I appreciate it. There was some networking that was able to be done, some familiar faces that I've known for years that were out there that were also on stage, so I was able to connect and link with them. So that was dope. And I mean, shout out to everybody in the city that was able to make it. Shout out to everybody in the city that wanted to but couldn't make it.
We got the pleasure of having you. You said you were going to book for the WCMD Unplugged.
Yeah.
June 29th. So if you miss Mr. Ryan at Pine Point Park, come out here.
Definitely.
June 29th and catch the live performance. Stage is going to be on fire. He usually kills it.
I appreciate that.
Second time I caught you a performance and it was good. I know IMD had his event, the Summer Fest or the Spring Fest, and I know you performed there.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was a good event too. That was good, man.
Oh, that was great for networking. Just great for the community. There was a lot of people in and out, and that was a beautiful thing. Just seeing people being able to come out to a safe area to have a good time. Make connections. No drama. You know what I mean? Like it was awesome. It was beautiful. I loved it.
How y'all feel about WCMD as a radio station in Camden?
Yeah.
I want to get both of y'all point of view.
Well, I think it's a good thing to bring this to the community of Camden. It also shows the young children that you can be anything and be anywhere you want to be in life.
Absolutely.
And with my nephew George, he started out, Gmoneypayroll, he started out real young, writing down his rhymes and notebooks at the kitchen table. And he worked his way up, and he always said that he was going to have a radio station show, and he did it. He's here.
Shout out to you, G Money, because that's awesome.
I'm humble, man. I don't try to. I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to do it. Cause I went to Sharp School. We was there for field day, like the last 2 days, and all the kids were running up to me. Oh, I'm sitting with the DJ. It felt funny. You know what I mean? It was like I'm just doing what I like to do.
Right.
I just do what I like to do, man. I don't look at it like that. Maybe, from the outside point, it's different. But, yeah, man, I appreciate, the support I get from everybody.
Absolutely.
I do work hard. But let's get back to you. Besides the Unplugged, do you have anything else that you're going to be doing live anytime soon?
Well, I know you guys have the event coming up tomorrow, but for those in the Trenton area, the Book Expo is coming up tomorrow.
Okay.
And then for those who can't come down this way but are up more towards North Jersey, I'm going to be co-hosting the open mic up there at the downtown Starbucks in Trenton.
Oh.
So Trent, listen, the town, they show love to WCMD, they show love to me, to IMD, everybody associated with us. They have open mics every Saturday, but at least once a month, I'll be up there co-hosting and helping out with that.
That's tomorrow.
Yeah. So I'll be stopping.
What time is that?
3 to 6. So I'm gonna stop out here before I head up that way, and then handle my responsibilities out there. So that's going on, and then I'm always trying to find open mics to get to, and then showcases to be a part of, So, matter of fact, my brand is Drew Ryan Music, DRURYANMUSIC. Drew like in Drew Hill, Drew Ryan Music. That's the brand for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all my social media. That's how everybody can find me. If you know about open mics, if you know about showcases, reach out to me, let me know. I'm trying to hit as many as I can. I'm also trying to support as many people that support me as I can, because I want to reciprocate the love that I get, and sometimes it's not a lot of that in this business, where, like I can come out to one of your shows and then you'll come out to one of mine, but not everybody that wants people to come out to their shows is willing to take time to go out and support somebody else.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth.
So
I go through that all the time. So, but I don't let that stop me from doing what I
of
gotta
course
do,
not.
man, because people gonna be people. You can't change everybody, man.
Yeah, the grind can't stop.
So, tell me a little bit about people that you looked up to growing up and what kind of music you listened to, you was into.
Oh man. So coming up, I was kind of raised in like a Christian, somewhat conservative, keep to ourselves type of household. And my family grew up over on Kramer Street, 2933.
So did I.
2933 was
Kramer
2908 Kramer
right?
Street.
Kramer
Yeah.
Street, Camden. Yeah,
Yeah, Benson family.
Camden.
Yep,
What's your family?
Benson family.
Benson.
Yeah.
You probably knew.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on now. 2933.
Yep.
Is that what part of Kramer?
That's
29th or 30th?
29. So let me see my
My grandma had the third house from the corner,
mm-hmm. We were in the middle of the block.
Yep.
and it was the
That's the house you lived in. You lived in there. G Money lived in that house.
It was the third house from the corner,
Mhm.
and the Asian peoples had the two houses on the
Yep.
corner.
Yeah, they
on
sure did.
29th Street.
They sure did.
So my grandma's house now, where she lived, her house was there was a field now on the
empty
phone.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
Empty lot. They parked the cars there.
Yeah.
So your house is close to there where you were.
It was just up the street from that.
Wow.
2933.
So you
We
know
was in the
Charlie
middle of the
Hustle?
block. I don't know everybody
Like
that was out
Beachline?
there because the name is familiar. I didn't know anybody out there because when I was out there with my grandma,
Right.
you know, she kept us close because she
Okay.
knew how the streets was in Camden.
Yeah.
You know, and she didn't want us to be out there falling victim to everything out there. So she kept us real close. You know, so my family was from out there in Camden, McKinnon's, Williams, Grimes, Benson's. That's all the clan right there.
Okay.
You know, so
Grimes?
yeah.
The Chip Grimes?
I know of Chip.
Yeah, Poor Boy Records at one time.
Yeah, I know of Chip.
Yeah.
I didn't really meet Chip like that. Because then, you know,
He
my
is
parents
family,
moved
though?
out too. I believe so.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of family
not a
on
lot
that
of
side.
Grimes in Camden, like they are
Right.
that I know here.
Yeah, Williams. Matter of fact, Williams, Livingston, Grimes, Benson. You know, that's the clan.
Oh, you got long lineage.
Yeah, you know, all across the city. So it's a lot of family that I just never had the chance to come across, even at the family reunions.
Okay.
But yeah, that
We connecting the dots, Diamond. We find out we grew up on the same block. Yeah.
yeah, Kramer Street,
Kramer Street out in
2933.
Camden. Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
29th in Kramer.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And
Yeah.
so my grandma had the house there. She had the house on 34th
G
Westfield.
Money
Right
was
outside.
was brought home from the hospital. That house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Awesome.
Small world.
Thursday, October 28th,
No doubt.
1882.
I see.
So,
Robin Banks at 82. Money.
oh man. Shoot, listen. So, Drew, man, you know, before we go and wrap things up, I just want to ask you a couple more questions.
Sure enough.
What's some of your favorite artists in the game right now?
yeah. Sorry, I got sidetracked because you did ask me the question. You know, so like BBCC Winans, you know, were artists that I listened to growing up. Commission, because Fred Hammond came out of that. Sounds of Blackness.
Yeah.
You know, and then when I started to listen to secular music, it was, you know, even though some people are Xing him out, R. Kelly. You know, When a Woman's Fed Up was one of the first songs I listened to when I got an FM
That's my
cassette player.
favorite song.
You know.
I see her all in the comments. I was like, yo, she was cussing R. Kelly wife out.
Yeah, When a Woman's Fed Up was one of the first ones, and then I Want to Know by Joe was another one that
Oh,
was
that's
out
a
around
good
that
song
time.
too.
You know, so I was.
Somebody
that's-
just remixed that.
I didn't know that. I gotta check that out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those were some of the first songs that got me to really be in love with R&B.
Okay.
You know, and then I grew to, you know, fall for like Brian McKnight's music. You know, Usher, and then I started learning about, you know, some of the classics. You know, Sam Cooke and his music.
Oh wow, you
You
went
know.
way back.
Yeah, absolutely. The Delphonics, the Temptations, the Entries, the Intruders. You know, the
Camden,
Dells.
Intruders.
You know, there's so much history that I'm still learning about, but you know, it was groups like that that influenced who I am now. You know, even coming up, Stevie Wonder. You know, and then you know Usher, Neo.
That's good
you know,
names.
like those are you know artists
real
that really
musicians.
influenced me. You know.
Real musicianship. It's not about just the beats and dancing.
No, it's about the words and the messages.
Yeah. Because I know Neo, he writes, he does it all.
Yeah,
So the name Neo, when somebody named Neo to me, that means they're a student of the game.
absolutely.
So,
Yeah, that man. I mean, he's multifaceted, multi-talented.
Mhm.
You know, and
And so were you.
thank you. I appreciate that. Now, something that I didn't put out on my social media just yet is that right now I am in talks to be a part of an upcoming musical out of Philly called Ups and Downs. It's going to be an original musical. So my song Change is going to be featured in that.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting for some of the paperwork to come through, and then I'll be able to lock everything up. I've already got the script, working on learning my lines and everything else like that.
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to be later this year when everything comes together. But you guys heard it first on Jersey Jukebox.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we definitely be ready to support that.
Doing big things.
Yeah.
Working on it. So
Good.
just trying to share this passion for the talent that God gave me to be able to write and, hold a note. Some people sing way better than I do, but they don't bring the same passion that I do.
There you go.
That's what's up, Drew, man. Well, we've been happy to have you here today.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully you won't be a stranger to Jersey
No,
Jukebox.
definitely
And
not.
I know you're always in and out of WCMD doing some things. So we're going to definitely, the people are going to see you.
Oh, yeah. And definitely going to get my EP, I Need You to Fight in the rotation.
Yeah, and definitely when I get a chance, I want to promote it too.
Absolutely. We're going to put some things together. And then next month when the feature which you wanted for Change comes out,
Okay.
definitely going to make sure that you guys have that to be able to put in rotation because I
Yeah.
want to get that everywhere that I possibly can.
Okay.
And I appreciate you coming through because your part on that song, your listeners haven't heard it yet, obviously because I haven't dropped it, but when you guys hear that part, y'all be, just as proud of this man being on it as I am for, as I am humbled that he accepted the invitation to be part of it.
I can't
Should
wait
we
to
play
hear
it
it.
for 'em real quick?
I mean, do
Would
you have
you
it?
want to leak it?
Do you have it?
I have it in the email. I could, pull it up. But,
I
or you
mean,
want to wait? We can wait.
now let's build up some more hype for it first.
I know some people just at the edge of their seat, like, I want to hear it, I want to hear it. So,
Yeah.
But, that's good. When he drops it, I'll have him back up here.
Absolutely.
That's how we do it. We make it a treat for everybody. I'm thinking about doing another R&B show,
That'd
and
be dope.
my aunt just suggested I do something for the singles.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
So when I do that,
And keep me posted with that too.
okay, I might have to get a event space for that show.
Yeah.
That's gonna be like Love Connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be big.
So I'll probably have both of them back here for that show.
I'd appreciate
And
it.
want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Y'all want to give any shout outs before we go?
I want to give a shout out to my husband, Douglas Peoples, my kids, Sharday Henry, Chanel Brown, Cameron Brown, and my niece, Christine Robinson, and my nephew, G Money. I just want to thank you for having me on your show today.
Okay, you're welcome, Aunt Pat. Thank you for coming. Drew, any
Yeah.
shout outs?
Yeah, absolutely. So shout out to all the fathers because this is Father's Day weekend is coming up. So shout out to all the fathers, godfathers, those that stand in the gap. Shout out to everybody who's doing the work of a dad. That's not counting all the deadbeats that ain't doing nothing for the kids. They get no love from me. And then real quick, maybe not quite popular opinion, but ladies, Mother's Day is for y'all. Father's Day is for the males that actually are doing what they're supposed to do.
Amen.
So I know it's not popular because some women say that they fill both roles, but you are doing the work of multiple people, but you're still one person who's doing it, so you get one
That's what I
holiday.
say, yeah.
Exactly.
But I salute the work and effort that you put in because
Yep.
sometimes it is thankless. Well, many times it's thankless.
Yeah.
True that.
So shout out to the fathers doing what they got to do. Shout out to you, G Money, for having me on. Shout
Thank
out to
you, man.
IMD, my homie who rides with me.
Yeah, IMD, man. He does a lot here at WCMD.
Yes, he does. Oh,
Yeah.
and actually ran into former Eagles receiver Freddie Mitchell earlier, so shout out to that man. He is hilarious.
Think you can get him to come on 4 for 4 Sports?
I can't make any promises, but
We'll negotiate that another time. We got to look into that. He needs to come to WCMD. Freddie, he famous for the 4 for 26 catch.
yeah,
Yeah, with the Eagles. I remember that.
people's champ.
All right, man. Today's been fun. Shout out to Ms.Kesh and ATL. I was sorry I couldn't bring you on the live today. We had some technical difficulties, Ms.Kesh, but tomorrow I'll make sure I will get you on. And for everybody here at Jersey Jukebox, we're going up. We're done for the day. See y'all tomorrow.
Peace.